Hello, and welcome to another Lawn Fawn video. Today we are introducing the brand new stamp set, A Bug Deal, and its coordinating dies, so let's go ahead and check it out. This stamp set has the most adorable little bugs, and we're starting off with this cute little caterpillar. We then have a chrysalis, and of course a butterfly for that chrysalis. We have two little ladybugs, a plain ladybug, and then one wearing a party hat, of course. We've got a grasshopper and then a grasshopper jumping, and as you can see, there's a lot of little images you can have them change back and forth. We've got this cute little dragonfly and a worm. We have my absolute favorite, which is this roly-poly, and then he's all rolled up. We then have this cute little cupcake with a leaf on it for their birthday surprise, and then a separate little party hat. We have a mound of dirt, and then the best branches ever. This nice big branch, and then this smaller branch. They're the best for setting the scenes for bugs, and honestly on all sorts of other cards too. We have 3 styles of leaves, and one of them has a little bite out of it. We also have a little speech bubble in which we have these tiny little phrases that fit perfectly in it. We have sorry to bug you, hey love bug, thanks, yay, and hi. We have 2 little trails that are perfect for showing the bugs either flying or kind of jumping around. So we've got this curlicue one and then more of a jump one. And then some great sentiments. We have this is a really bug deal. Happy birthday. We also have a phrase that says just wanted to say that goes with a ton of the other phrases in the set. We have caught a bug. We have feel better. And also congrats. And of course we have an exclamation point to add to the ends of these phrases. Next, we're going to use our Copic markers to add some color to these cute little bug images. And what I love about these bugs is you can color them in more realistic colors, or you can go totally rainbow with them. So you can go really unrealistic and just kind of fun and bright and happy. And they're both really awesome either way. So I love kind of going back and forth and trying both styles. The other thing I really love about these bugs is that there's a lot of interactive opportunities with these guys. So we have a lot of before and after, like the chrysalis and butterfly, or the grasshopper and the jumping grasshopper, the roly-poly and the curled up roly-poly. Those are perfect for Magic Picture Changer and also Flippin' Awesome. I think it'd be really cute in the Magic Iris. So there's some really cute stuff that you can do with these guys that are just adorable. I usually like to lay down my lightest color first, then my darkest and kind of blend it out again. But because these guys are so little, I have a tendency to just do my darkest and then my lightest, and that's it. For these little wings here, I'm doing gray and then a little bit of a really light BV color, and that makes the wings look really kind of translucent. And for this little worm here, I really like these purples. I think he looks amazing. We're going to use some toner grays for the roly-poly, and I'm just bringing in a little bit of a darker color there just to give it a little more contrast. I love the idea of creating a little slider card with that little roly-poly that's all curled up. One of my favorite images from the set is this little cupcake because I love the leaf on top. I love the idea of them decorating a little cupcake with a leaf. And then of course that little party hat is so adorable because you can add it to any of the characters and even color them in lots of different colors for kind of a rainbow order. This little mound of dirt is really cute to have bugs peeking out of and also to have the branches peeking out of. One of the things that I love about the branches is they can come sideways, kind of how we've stamped them here, or you can put them up top so it looks more like a tree. These branches to me they'd be great with birds, all sorts of other images that you may have. So these are one of my new favorite images to use. So you can see I'm using some different shades of brown for these just to kind of show you different ways you can color them. Any shades of brown would look amazing. I also love the idea of mixing lots of shades of brown in one card. And then right here with these leaves, this little color combo I really love for these. That YG01 just kind of brightens it up and makes it kind of like a little neon in the center. So I put that light color in the center first and then dark on the outside and then kind of try to blend it in with that lightest color. And I really love the look of it. And then a little warm gray to that speech bubble just to give it a little extra something. These are the coordinating dies, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. We're going to take that die, line it up with the stamped image, hold it in place with low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and we're going to have these perfectly cut out images that are just the cutest ever. There are a ton of different ways to mix and match the images from this set. So you can add the little party hats to a lot of the different guys and kind of mix and match them, creating cute scenes using those little trails with the dragonfly, the butterfly, the little hopping trail with the grasshopper. You can layer your leaves onto those branches just like that, kind of mix and match your branches, or you can turn those branches once again up top like that, and now they're going to look like cool little trees, especially as you add those leaves on them. Absolutely adorable. So we're going to start off by recreating a gorgeous card by Elena. Thank you so much, Elena. And in this one, we're going to be using that branch as a tree. But the cool thing that Elena did is she did some really amazing ink blending, but she started with our mermaid cardstock instead of white cardstock. So genius. It means that you don't have to build up all that color. So we're starting off with some Minty Fresh ink right in the center there, and that's going to be where the lightest part of our card is. Then we're going to take the fish tank and we're going to go from the outside in on those edges of this piece that we cut with the snowy backdrop that's perfect for a night sky. Then we're going to take that deep sea color and just add a little bit of darkness on those outside edges, going back and forth between all three colors to blend the look between each of them. Now I wanted a little bit more of a glowy look in the center, and a cool way to get that is to use some white pigment ink. So this is our Yeti ink. I'm going to pick that up with a blender brush as well and kind of start in the center putting that white ink on there. As the white ink goes over top, especially the darker colors, it's going to give it this kind of chalky, glowy appearance that was really magical and ended up just looking awesome. So you can see how it kind of lightens up the center and gives it this really cool glow. Now for some extra starry night sky effect, what we're going to do is we're going to take some water, we're going to spray it on our craft mat, and then some white paint. This is some Copic white, but you could use any white acrylic paint. We're going to pick up some of that white paint and mix it with water, and then we're going to splatter it by tapping the edge of our paintbrush. And by adding these white splatters, it adds even more to this night sky effect. So I love the look of the ink blending on the colored cardstock with that awesome die cut with the white stars on top. Oh my goodness. Elena, you just blew me away, and it was so much fun to recreate this. We have a standard size card base here at 5.5 by 4.25 out of some white cardstock, and we're going to be layering this awesome night sky onto that. So we're going to flip that over and use the glue tube to add glue around all of those teeny tiny little holes. And then when we layer that onto our white cardstock, we're going to have white stars showing through, which is going to go really well with our white splatters. To create our ground, we're going to take some paper bag cardstock and we're going to die cut that with a simple Grassy Hillsides border die. We'll hold that in place with low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and now we have this awesome grass that's going to go perfectly with our night sky. For our sentiment, we're going to be using the A Bug Deal stamp set and my favorite saying from it, which is "This is a really bug deal." We're going to stamp that out in some black licorice ink using our Misty tool. And once we have that stamped, to make sure that this cardstock goes along with all of that ink blending we did earlier, we're going to take some dough ink, which is kind of an equivalent color ink, and just ink blend a little bit onto the top of the grass. This is going to give it a little bit of definition and help it blend into that beautiful blended sky that we worked on earlier. Once we layer our grass onto the scene, we can start to add our characters. So we've stamped, colored, and die cut a bunch of images from A Bug Deal. And these guys are just so cute. And the first thing we're going to start off with is that branch. But like we said earlier, we're going to turn it into a tree. And we're going to add everything on here with foam squares because foam squares are awesome. So we're going to layer that tree right in the center so that the glow is coming off the tree. And then once we add the leaves, you'll really start to see this tree form. I love putting kind of two leaves together and mixing and matching the different styles. There's kind of two styles of full leaves, and then we have the leaves with the little bites out of them as well. But once you add these leaves on there, you can see just how amazing this tree is looking. I absolutely adore it. So we're going to go ahead and start adding our cute little bugs on there. This is the only way bugs are ever cute to me. So we're going to add bugs on there, and also we're going to use the little speech bubble in the set with little sayings stamped in it. So we have the "Sorry to bug you." Then we'll add our grasshopper, our little leaf there with a bite out of it. And then we could add our caterpillar on top of that, because he took a bite out of the leaf. And I love kind of thinking about scenes this way. I like to think about like who's hanging out with who, what's going on. It kind of helps me decide where everything's going to go on a card. So as we start to layer our last little character, to help set the scene, we needed some moon and stars. So I went ahead and kind of shopped the stash and looked through a bunch of stamp sets. And right here, we've got our Let's S'more stamp set and also Upon a Star, which had some great moon and star images. So I went ahead and colored those, and we're going to add these on with just tape runner instead of foam squares so that they're kind of in the background of everything. And so you can see just how cute this is looking, and that pop of yellow really makes this whole card. And now the card is all done. I had so much fun creating this. I love the idea of ink blending on colored cardstock and creating a cute tree scene with this stamp set. Next up, we're going to be combining a bug deal with one of my favorite sets of all time, How You Been. And we're going to start off by cutting the largest outside-in stitched rectangle 2 times. And out of one of those, we're going to cut another one of these simple grassy hillsides. And then we're going to be doing some really awesome ink blending. So for our grass, we're going to be starting off with some green. So we've got our Twisted Citron and Lucky Clover. And we're going to have a lighter color towards the bottom and a darker color towards the top, just to create a really nice gradient. So we'll build that color up using a foam ink blending tool, and then with our Lucky Clover, you'll see add just a little bit more. We'll go back and forth between the two colors to make sure there's a nice seamless blend. The sky we're creating is one inspired by Megan, and I love these colors and I can't wait to use them on more and more cards. So this is Scattered Straw, and we're going to build that up all along the bottom half of a card. And then we're going to take out Broken China and put that up towards the top. Now what you're going to see is when these two colors mix, they make the most gorgeous green ever. So we're going to go back and forth blending them, and you'll see that we've got yellow to green to blue, and it's this beautiful magical sky. Now to add a little extra texture on there, we're going to take that Broken China ink and smear it onto our craft mat. We'll add a little bit of water, pick it up with a paintbrush, tap the paintbrush to create these awesome little splatters into our sky. We're also going to repeat that with the Scattered Straw color too, just to help everything kind of blend in. So now we'll have blue little speckles and yellow speckles, and everything will just look awesome. We're also going to be doing the same type of thing for our grass, just to make sure that everything kind of coordinates with each other. So we're going to be smearing that ink on the craft mat once again, our Lucky Clover, adding some water to that, picking it up with the paintbrush, and creating some splatters. And splatters like this are a great way to create texture. If you flick them off your block like this, you actually get even tinier, almost like sprays, and that's a really cool look. Or you can tap your paintbrush for more like actual dots and splatters. We've let our inked pieces dry as we stamped, colored, and die cut a bunch of images from a bug deal and also that How You Been stamp set. These are a great combo together because the little jar with the bugs in it is just the cutest thing ever. So we're going to start off by adding some tape runner to that sky we created and layering that onto a white card base, and it's going to have this great thin little border all of the way around. And before we start doing any of our seam building, we want to do some of our stamping. So we're going to take the bug deal stamp set and we're going to make this into a birthday card. So it says, "Just wanted to say happy birthday." We're going to add our grass on with some tape runner, and then we can start to form the scene. So first up, we have our jar here, and we're going to add some foam squares on the back and layer that into the card. The branch from a bug deal is a perfect fit in this jar, so we're going to layer that in, and then we can start to layer in some of the cute little images. So we're going to have that chrysalis hanging right there from that branch, and then we can add some leaves and start to add our other characters to help set the scene. To go along with the birthday theme, we're going to be adding those teeny tiny little party hats and lots of fun colors to the characters, and that roly-poly with the party hat is just way too cute. We've also added those adorable little cupcakes at the bottom, and we're putting some things on with foam squares and some on with liquid glue to create lots of cool dimension. Of course, we'll add our last little party hat, and we're going to give these guys some little trails, the guys in the air there, to show that they're flying up in the air. And now our card is all done. The ink blending was so much fun, and creating the scene was super cute and super easy, and I love the idea of bringing back an old favorite like How You Been to help set our scene and create such a cute card. For the next card, we're recreating a gorgeous card by Elise, and we've die cut the same largest outside-in stitched rectangle out of white cardstock, and we have the new cloudy stencil here. And this entire scene is going to be up in the sky. So we're using the new kiddie pool ink, which is a really great light kind of turquoisey color. We're going to be starting on the stencil and kind of moving off. Now, if you saw our intro to stencils video, we did kind of a lighter sky, and in this case, we're going to be doing much darker skies. So we're really blending up that color before we twist and move that stencil. So now once again, we're going to start on and off, and we're really building up that color. So it's a little bit of a different look. Instead of a white airy sky, now we're going to have much more of a blue sky, and I think both look amazing. So we're going to shift the stencil and turn it 90 degrees and do our next cloud, turn it, shift it, do our next cloud. You'll see turn it, shift it, and next cloud. And these are so much fun to do. I absolutely adore creating these backdrops. There's something about it that's almost like meditative. It just really relaxes me. They're really, really fun to do. So there we're going to kind of pick the perfect cloud, and once we've got that perfect one, we can ink it up and then ink up the very bottom to help fill in that blue. For our sentiment, we're going to be doing some white heat embossing on black cardstock. So we're using an anti-static powder tool to make sure that our white heat embossing powder only sticks to that clear embossing ink. And we're going to be stamping some different sentiments from A Bug Deal. So we're going to stamp Caught a Bug, and then we're going to stamp Feel Better, but we're going to stamp the word feel and better separately. So we're selectively inking it and then heat embossing it, and then we're going to do the word better. And that's because we're going to be separating these up and kind of trimming them down. Once we have heat embossing powder on all of the images, we can heat it up with our heat tool, and you can see just how bold and gorgeous it's looking. We'll take our paper trimmer to trim these down, and we're going to trim right around these different sayings. And it's going to kind of look like one of those old Dymo label makers, which I think is a really cute look. To trim off the rest of it, we're just going to use our scissors, and then we're going to be able to save these later for attaching onto our scene. To create the scene, we're going to be using those awesome branches that I am just obsessed with from this stamp set. Kind of place them around the card, see what looks good, and then we're going to add liquid glue to each of these branches. This is going to give us a guide for where our characters are going to go and also where our sentiment's going to go. We can go ahead and trim off any of the parts that are hanging off, and that way it's going to look like these branches just kind of go on forever, just like our clouds. There you can see how cute those sentiments are looking already, and we're going to start layering on different pieces here with either some liquid glue or some foam squares for lots of different dimension. We're also going to take our entire scene here and layer it onto a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25, and we'll use some black foam squares behind those black sentiments to layer those onto the card. And this is such a sweet card. I think would really help someone feel better and just send a lot of love to them. So we're just going to add all of our bugs hanging out on these branches, and they're looking so cute. I love their bright and happy colors. That little worm is adorable with the little leaf with a bite in it. And now the card is all done, super cute and super quick and easy to do thanks to lots of cute images and a stencil. Next up, we have some absolutely gorgeous cards by the design team. First, we have the stunning card by Megan that inspired us to make our card today. I love how it has both a reveal wheel element and that cute jar in it as well. Then next up, we have a gorgeous card by Tammy, and her color palette is just stunning. I love the beautiful kind of more pastels and muted colors and how she combined A Bug Deal with one of my favorites, which is Gleeful Gardens. So cute. Next up, Maureen created the best magic picture changer. It has that chrysalis in there, and as you guessed it, as you pull that magic picture changer tab, you're going to have this beautiful ladybug. So cute and sweet, and I love how she combined and mixed and matched a bunch of different stamp sets and die sets. This card by Megan is way too cute. I love how she created that big tree with 2 branches and how her roly-poly is on the most adorable little slider. Way too sweet. This card by Lynette is just adorable. I love her green color palette and how she used the Spiffy Speckles paper for the sky. I love how Jen used the leafy tree backdrop with this stamp set. It's also a perfect match for it. And here, that beautiful sky that Letitia created with the cloudy stencil is so cute, and I love everybody flying through with those ladybugs. This is the card by Elena that inspired us to make our night scene today. And this is the card by Elise that inspired us to make our beautiful cloudy sky scene. Now, A Bug Deal matches really well with Hey Lady, and that intro video is coming up soon. And this card by Tammy shows how well those 2 sets mix and match together. Here, Jen has also mixed and matched them, and I love that purple background so much. And then Megan just blew me away. She did the Very Hungry Caterpillar in flippin' awesome form. So as you pull that tab, you get to see that whole story form together. So cute and sweet, and I love how well this stamp set worked for that. And then here, Shari got super creative and she created a terrarium jar. It's absolutely stunning. I have it here in the office and I just adore it. So I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do with A Bug Deal, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!